Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Muichiro Listener by me. So let's get into it. Muichiro does not like your father. That was something you knew very well, something he told you about, and something that you honestly agreed with. After all, you only disliked your father from the way you talked about him. It wasn't like you had a grudge with the man, but you talked about him so badly because, well, your father was not the best person around, and you were not a liar. You only said the truth, and the truth is, you did not like him either, and anyone who bothered you or hurt you was someone that Muichiro was not going to like. That was how it worked for him, for you, for the two of you. You were one, and your interests and likes aligned most of the time, and you would like to keep it that way. So that man he was about to meet, he wanted nothing to do with him. But after just hours of you trying to convince him to go and meet your parent to get his approval, he had decided he should, if only not to make you sad. Because you deserve better than being sad. In fact, you deserve a better father than what you have. But that's something he can't change, nor could you. So, he was going to do the next best thing and be the best boyfriend that you could possibly be for your sake. Ryan, before we head inside, I just want to tell you something. I don't care about his approval. And I know that. But you just have to try at least. You tell him, wrapping an arm around him and holding him close. You don't want him to get angry for your sake, even though you would appreciate that, but you don't want all chances of this relationship being acknowledged by your father getting thrown out of the window for your sake. As much as you know that he loves you and appreciate his love for you, you would just like to be sacrificed, in a sense, if things would all get along and get well. You just want things to be okay. You want peace. No more and no less. As much as you hate your father sometimes, you wish that you could have a normal relationship, that he could be a father-in-law of your boyfriend, that maybe you could like him and everything would be fixed. Maybe things could go alright for once. Or so you hoped and wished and prayed so badly. And you didn't know. But this would all fail in the end, as it was bound to. Your father was not a nice person. And despite Michiro, his kindness, his strength, and his own patience, and high intelligence of all things, they could not change the man in front of him. And Michiro's dislike was very apparent on the way he treated him. Or perhaps your father disliked how much he spoils you. You didn't know. You would never know what goes on through that man's head. But you knew he hated you. At least that's how it seemed from the way he behaved around you. From the way he treated you. Like he wanted nothing good for you at all. It doesn't matter though. And here's how it goes. The greetings go fine. Your father is initially impressed. What with Mitra being a Hashira, fighting demons, doing all sorts of stuff that most people couldn't, and getting to be a pillar of all things. Your father was no demon slayer, but he knew of the profession and appreciated it. And that made him hold Mitra in a high regard, at least for the first couple of minutes, until it all fell downhill. Well, what do you want to do with my daughter? Are you going to get married straight away? I would prefer that. Well, she would prefer something else. She wants us to be dating for a while, and when she's ready for marriage, then we will do that. I didn't ask about her though. I asked about you. You are the man after all. It's your decision, your father says, as if you simply didn't exist, disregarding your presence and your entire being. And that comment alone, well, it makes me very angry. and he tries his best to hold it all in, to force a polite smile as he says, I think we should give Mayan a little bit more respect here. She is your daughter, is she not? So, I think her opinion is very important, and it should be important to you as it is to me, he says firmly, leaving no room for objection. And then, your father gets angry, and it goes downhill from there, even worse. They start fighting. Muichiro gets up and hurls insults at him, telling him he's the worst bastard of a father there has ever been. And it ends up in Muichiro dragging you out, as your father is chasing you, and Muichiro just closes the door in his face and tells him that he would prefer if he never sees him again. Day, night, or at any time, and possibly never in the foreseeable future. And that's how you end up walking across the road in his arms, trying not to cry as he holds you. You did your best, Ryan, and I really tried, but he was disrespecting you. I couldn't do this anymore, he says, holding you closer. And then you stop, and he stops after you, wrapping an arm around you and bringing you close. I'm really sorry, Ryan. You know I am. But I just couldn't help but seeing it happen and not say anything. I know. I don't blame you, he whispered softly, hugging him tighter. And the two of you stopped there in the middle of the road, holding each other. Because now the two of you was all the other ever had. All the other would ever have for now. But the love between you, the trust, was more than your father could ever offer. He rejected him, and perhaps you should have expected this, knowing this wouldn't have happened if Muichiro just had not lashed out. But perhaps it was for the better now. You didn't have to put up with this, to put up with your father's treatment and the way he talked about you. And a part of you was glad that Muichiro was not one to pretend. He was honest, true with his feelings and with his love, and you knew he would never stand for anyone if they demean you or talk badly about you. And he deserved every ounce of love and trust that you gave for him, and even more.